Akino told me to tell you guys that this video contains spoilers for attracting purposes. You have been warned, I guess.
Hi. Madoka is best girl. She is our goddess. No other waifu can top her. She is the very definition of perfection. Long live Empress Madoka. Okay, that's all for me, lyric gents.
Alright, Degens, it's time for Strike Witches but without the guns. Let's get to it. In a world where flying is as simple as riding a bicycle, there is a popular sport called flying circus. To sum it up, it's basically cute girls with cool shoes doing cat fights in the air as a sport. The story takes place in possibly the near future where instead of having flying cars, we have flying shoes. A better invention and more fun in my opinion. On a fictional island near Japan that allows the free usage of these particular shoes, the MC encountered a waifu named Kurashina Asuka during his run to school. Turns out that the waifu is a transfer student and then basically fell in love with the idea of flying. Love at first sight, as they say. With flying, I mean. As a result, it affected the protagonist because he used to fly, and he used to be a top player in a sport that is based on these flying shoes called flying circus, or FC for short. The thing is though, he quit flying due to a bad experience once and a simple feeling that is present in any human, which I won't describe. So seeing that how Asuka wants to learn how to fly and eventually get into a flying circus, the MC then has to coach her for flying and for FC, because he was encouraged to do so by his former mentor, Aoi Sensei. And by doing so, the MC is dragged back little by little into the world that he left behind. And yes, the story is also a romance but through sports. It's not really long in my opinion and has good development throughout. And speaking of length, my total playtime is 19 hours, 40 minutes and 36 seconds. But at 1 hour, 55 minutes and 37 seconds to that because I tried to record my playtime using a sticky note. So the total playtime should be around 22 hours, and again, I take less time than when compared to VNDB. I guess I read fast. Now this might be a first for me saying this since I've made VN videos, but here we have the MC who is not a lucky bastard. Flat is justice, medium is premium, opai is truth, and udon. Oi? The last part there, those that have played Aokana. Am I wrong? The MC, named Masaya Hinata, which may confuse some people that it is a girl name, as proven in my Reddit post, is a regular student who has a background at which he used to play FC, as mentioned in the synopsis. I don't find him to be dense, as he would react like an average high school boy in a high school romance. He just has issues with flying, and I do find him sometimes to be useless in FC matches when supporting the girls, but I guess that's for the sake of the plot. And then again, he hasn't played FC in a while, so it's unfair to say that. Whatever, it is what it is. But overall, he's a likable character that is actually smarter than a typical high school MC because he actually has above average scores for his exam. Though I do wish to see more cool sides of him, but I guess that's just me nitpicking. Next, we have Arisaka Mashiro, the outgoing twin-tailed loli who is kind of a tsundere. I hesitate to call her tsundere because her tsundere level is low in my books, and because she's supposed to be the cute character, the cute and clingy character. Good thing is that the target of that clinginess is not directed to the MC, but instead another waifu who is named Misaki, which I will describe later on. Mashiro can sometimes be really lively when it comes to the topic of Misaki, but it's nothing to be annoyed about. She also has low self-esteem when it comes to competition in FC, but it's not really surprising due to how small she is compared to the big giants. But that doesn't really stop her from practicing because she wants to impress Misaki by reaching her level. So it is commendable and respectable, but overall she is that cute character and a bit of role playing involving cats. After that, we have Ichinose Rika. Now, since that the outgoing and lively one is Mashiro, Rika is kind of the opposite. She is a more reserved and timid sort of character. Being reserved, she could actually get pissed off easily due to those built-up emotions when she's facing conflict. I'm not saying that she's the angry kind of person overall, but she does tend to fall for provocations easily. Rika's also a diligent person, showing promise to be better in FC because she is hardworking. In addition, Rika also knows how to cook, as shown when she brought food to the MC's home after she moved in next door. At which I think is Japanese culture, if I recall correctly. Anyway, her overall character is okay to me, but she's easily overshadowed by the other three waifus. Coming up, it is the waifu that fell in love with flying, Kurashina Asuka. There were some moments I wish she could be called dumb, but I just think that she's innocent overall. She's just that girl that wants to be associated with flying, if I could generalize her in that sense. And due to her passion for flying, she learns really quickly on the basics of flight as well as skills used in flying circus. One might even consider her to be a prodigy or even a monster, at which I do sometimes think that is exactly the case. At one point, I even got chills because she showed a reaction that what a normal average human would not show. In that case, I straight up thought that she was a psychopath. I want her to torture me. But thankfully she wasn't. Or was she? I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. Last but not least, we have Udon. Or rather, Tobisawa Misaki. The cheeky, lazy, mischievous genius who appears to be a cat person. And obviously, she loves udon. Misaki is the kind of person that loves to tease people when drama comes up, bringing up that smug smile of hers. In addition, she's also smart despite being lazy because she always scores exams without a problem and she sleeps during the tests themselves. And being a cat person, she always gives off feline noises whenever she activates her shoes before flight.
わかった。じゃ、飛ぶにゃん。
I guess this is the reason why Mashiro gets into role-playing as well, because she wants to mate with Misaki. Anyway, in FC, she's considered to be naturally talented and the strongest at some point. The thing is though, Mashiro is considered to be the weakest FC player in the club, but hardworking. Yet Misaki is the strongest but lazy. So that's why they're attracted to each other, right? Polar opposites, am I right? In a more degenerate way, you could say that Mashiro has the smallest while Misaki has the biggest. So that's probably why they stick like magnets, figuratively speaking. Again, I won't share all the side characters, but here we go. First, we have the FC shop vendor who has a thing for muscles. The timid, shy and reserved girl who we all must protect. The badass and strongest FC player in the region who looks up to the MC. The Tosakarin of Aokana, but more like a noblewoman Ojo-sama who's kinda part of the trope. The annoying yet resourceful journalist. The MILF. Yes. The hot-blooded energetic club president who also has a thing for muscles. Oh, I see what's going on here. The damn cheeky and outgoing yet attentive and insightful waifu. And lastly, the badass and wise sensei who guides the MC. Naturally, there are other characters as well, so go play the damn game to find out. Now, usually I would declare my best girl in this section, but seeing that this is a hot topic, especially in the Aokana community, I've reserved a special section in the video about my choice, so you can check in the timestamps below. But if you're patient enough, please watch the entire video without skipping to that particular section, as it would kill my retention rate otherwise, and that would make me very sad girl. One feature in the settings shows a red flag to me already. The muting individual page. Oh god, why? VN Studios need to stop doing this. Please, for the love of degeneracy. What's worse is that there's no mute button for the master volume. What the hell? You have mute for individual characters but not the overall volume. So yeah, hope VN Studios learn from this problem for future projects. On a positive note, I appreciate the VN giving a borderless window option for multitasking, and I also love that they added the 2560 by 1440 screen resolution option. Great stuff. Oh yeah, this VN also has that sprite viewer thing where you could customize for your wallpaper or something, selecting characters and doing poses or whatever. I like that. As for the translation, I have seen several minor mistakes. There were some sentences that didn't have verbs, but I could kind of make out what they were trying to say. And there's this one line that I remember because it says, I wanna seem them. Oh god, you know why I remember this line? Because it was during a H scene. I got turned off so bad during that scene, during that one particular sentence, and my experience during the rest of the scene was not enjoyable. But overall, translation's still good. Actually, this motivated me more to learn Japanese further so I could read the visual novels raw. This story doesn't run from the usual plot pyramid, the undressing phase, the thrusting, the orgasm, the cuddling phase, and then bedtime. Story structure consists of the common route, Asuka's route, Mashiro's route, Rika's route, Misaki's route, and finally, the bad ending route. There are several choices in the common route that doesn't matter because they don't affect the direction of your story. After the cuddling phase of the common route, you'll get access to the choices that will lead you to your desired routes. Let's first talk about the common route. Personally, I don't think it's anything special because it does what it's supposed to do, that is to introduce each character and prepare them for your route choices. It does the setting really well. It explains the concept of FC nicely, it takes its time to build up and develop towards the climax, at which I don't have any complaints about. The battles were fun to read as I genuinely felt excited to read them. There is one scene in the common route that gives you fan service, and in that moment I felt like it's as if the game is giving you choices to choose your size, your oppai size or something. Not that it's unwelcomed, of course. It's an onsen scene after all. You can't have a Japanese story without an onsen scene. My video direction after this will follow the exact order that I used to play the game, starting with the bad route. Okay, for this route, I feel like it's the most useless thing I've read in a while. It's just so sudden, it ended out of nowhere just like that, and it doesn't really answer anything. Why does this route exist? But I guess that's the reason why it's called the bad route. However, there is one good thing I would say about the bad ending that is making me change my initial route order to play the game. At first, I chose the route order as you can see on screen because I choose route orders according to their badonka sizes. But after seeing Mashiro's scene after denying her route in order to get to the bad route, I immediately switched Mashiro's and Rika's route order. I am very grateful that I did that because of the lack of quality I saw in Rika's route when compared to the other three heroines. Now since we've reached Rika's route, let's talk about it. Putting aside the comparison with the other three heroines, I genuinely do like Rika's route as a whole, and the ending was nice as well. The only issue I had with it is the lack of background development for the antagonist in this route. I gotta say that it was underdeveloped in my opinion, and as a result, the reasoning behind the antagonist for being the antagonist doesn't really stick with me. Now putting in comparison with the other routes, I think that Rika's route got the unfair treatment. It felt short, it felt quick, hopefully not like me when in bed. It's like a filler episode that doesn't really explain much about the other characters, and that is a sad thing, to be honest. I believe that more people would like Rika more if her route was more polished, but I think that somebody's got to draw the short end of the stick in order to build up the main characters. Next, we have Mashiro, the diabetic route. As I've described her that her tsundere level is low, I'm grateful for that because it makes her tolerable. Her route is more polished, way nicer than Rika's, and it had an antagonist that doesn't even require a backstory, which still works as well. What I like about Mashiro's story is that it shows the little details that build up the characters for the remaining routes. Looking back, I guess it was some little details for one character, while a major chunk of the story was dedicated to build up the other character. Despite doing that, it doesn't actually overshadow the main target of the route itself, that is Mashiro. Her cuteness level was somewhere up here, supported by her role-playing but not annoying. Besides, you get both features of this route, the lolly and the MILF. Naturally, I orgasmed every time the MILF comes out on screen. Who could ever resist that? I mean, hell, it's even listed as a personality for the love of MILFs. Moving on to Asuka's route, it's really great, and it's normal to assume that the developers made this route to be the main route for the story, at which I don't entirely disagree with. The build-up was great, the climax was greater, and then the ending was just damn well deserved. In addition, the route also brings in a bunch of characters in order to build up for the climax, and each character interaction was really good. The things that added a lot in this route was the CGs used, affecting art direction. The cinematography in this route is amazing. As for the antagonist of this route, intimidating, badass, sadistic, cunning, yet also has the decency to be respectful. That being said, I don't like how the backstory of the antagonist went. Just like in Rika's route, it felt underdeveloped and incomplete. Lastly, Misaki's route. Now, some people have said that it's best to save Asuka's route for the last, but it couldn't be really applied to me since I choose route order based on oppai sizes. Looking back, I think I've made the right choice by saving Misaki's route for the last. The reason is because I think that Misaki's route is the best for the MC. It gave off the most in-depth character development and the most in-depth character interaction between MC and Misaki. Though it's not really limited to just between the two. There are other characters as well in order to move the story. And I like that this route involves more of a mysterious masked character that was briefly introduced in the common route. As for the battles, they're not as built up nor exciting as in Asuka's route, but I believe that's the main idea. I think it focuses more on the underlying meaning of the battle instead of the battles themselves. One other thing I would recommend to go for Misaki's route last is because that I feel Asuka's route builds up for the main antagonist in Misaki's route. And again, some people have said to save Asuka's route for the last. To me, I disagree because Misaki's route affects the MC and his past more directly, which gives off a heck of a lot of meaning to the true end. And speaking of the true end, I guess you would get this true end by completing every route, though I can't really say because I completed everything. Maybe there's a specific route order to it, maybe not, but for those that know, please do comment in the comment section down below. Because I originally thought that the true end was part of Misaki's route, then I asked the peeps in Aokana Discord server, and apparently it's not the case. But for the true end itself, I can't appreciate enough. Perfect choice of character, as she was the one who backed up the MC from the very beginning. She totally deserved the ending that she got, while the MC also deserved his. And the CG used was just damn perfection. Okay, bad stuff first and then good ones. First of all, I don't like the underusage of antagonists in this VN. I've mentioned that there are some moments when the antagonist's backstory is underdeveloped. At least those antagonists have a backstory. There is one particular antagonist that doesn't even have a background, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, provided that she gets more screen time. But no, low screen time, no development, which is a shame really because that particular antagonist caught my eye when she was first introduced. So basically speaking, her character is just there. Like, just there for the sake of the plot, which doesn't really have an impact for me. Next, I don't really like how short Rika's route was when compared to other routes. Now, I didn't time myself separately for each route, but Rika's route just felt short as F. But hey, as I've said, somebody's gotta draw the short end of the stick, am I right? After that, I wanna nitpick on something, which is the MC's cool scenes. I would have liked to see more scenes of the MC being in action, you know? I'm not saying that there are no scenes of him doing that, but to me, they're not really serious scenes. They're like scenes to overcome his past trauma, but no real conclusive scenes of him. I mean, if the story makes him to be this so-called prodigal player of FC during his younger days, I would have liked to see more of his skills in action, you know? Especially if some antagonists that idolize and respect him. But take this complaint lightly because I can see that the story shows his skills through his coaching, through the players. Which I don't really mind. But yeah, that's why I say it's just a nitpicking of mine. For the good stuff, I like that this VN is a chill sort of story, comedic, but not over the top in my opinion. When I first played it, Aokana gave me similar vibes to my first time playing If My Heart Had Wings. The main objective of both VNs to me just feels similar. That is the desire to reach the skies. They both give you a heartwarming atmosphere. Though I would say that If My Heart Had Wings did it better, while Aokana is a bit darker, or seinen as you would call it. Aokana's concept is not entirely unique, but it's still fun regardless, and it could actually be possible in the near future. Imagine having shoes to fly around. Damn, that'd be nice. I mean, I have a fear of heights, but I would want to try that at least. Though public transportation would be out of business if it was implemented early on, I guess. Lastly, the battles are enjoyable, easy to keep up with due to good choices of CGs and art direction. Again, cute girls doing cat fights. I can't really complain about that. About the anime. Well, I've only watched 4 episodes so far, and yes, I've watched them after playing the VN, so my hatred for the adaptation will affect my judgment. Still, I think I would enjoy the anime if I watched it first instead of playing the VN beforehand. I gotta say though, Asuka in the adaptation is annoying as hell, and oh my god, it's only 4 episodes in. I didn't even think she was annoying in the VN. Not that I have a lot of complaints on the anime so far though. Despite changing scenes and skipping a lot, the battles are okay at least. Disclaimer, I haven't fapped to this VN. Not that I can fap anyway due to fasting months now. But yeah, I think most peeps would enjoy the H scenes in this VN. Though I don't know why, I just don't find it appealing. Don't get me wrong, they're good enough. It's just that I think that is due to the unfair treatment of the waifus. What I mean by that is one particular waifu having more scenes than the other waifus. Not that I can really complain because she's my favorite of the main characters, but yeah, you gotta treat girls fairly. I wanna commend the hate scenes in Mashiro's route though. Trying to do a paizuri with that small chest? Respectable. It works with her hardworking personality in her route. Regardless, the scenes themselves are pretty okay. Some I do find to be short, some I find to be long, and obviously the scenes with the waifu that has more scenes felt longer. Oh yeah, the genitals are still censored with mosaic, like usual. Not that it matters to most of you guys, I reckon. Okay, I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of dislikes for this. Let's discuss best girl. You know how serious this issue is when I have to put this particular section after the fun parts? Are you guys kidding me? Now, I'm positive that most of the community who have played Aokana would agree that Madoka is best girl. And I don't deny that. I won't deny that. Even more people want her own route, which I sort of agree. Let me explain. Madoka is just fantastic. To me, she's like the backbone of the group and could even be the backbone of the story itself. She's cheeky, teasing, lively, yet attentive and insightful. It's like she has a sixth sense or something. And anyone who has played Aokana would waifu her, without a doubt. But to me, I just have that feeling of being afraid that her route would, you know, ruin her character. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm just scared that it would happen. What if her route was underdeveloped? What if her route didn't live up to your expectations? That sort of thing. And if you want a route for Madoka, what's to stop for the other routes? Like, say for example, Satoin. I find Satoin to be underrated, to be honest. She's actually a likable character, despite being that Ojo-sama trope. But that trope wasn't ever over the top in her character. I would say her Ojo-sama trope is like low to mid. And what about Minamo? This cute little thing caught my attention the first time she shows up on screen. And every scene with her, I mean as Minamo, is just too sweet. Even sweeter than Mashiro's. Plus, what about Ganeko Mayu? The most underdeveloped character in the entire VN. You can't just introduce an Oni-chan material that... but not give her a decent amount of screen time. What the F? Anyway, I've nagged on too much and I'll just declare that my best girl is still Aoi Sensei. I liked her in the beginning, I love her in the end. And I won't be changing my waifu rules in the Aokana Discord server. Still, Madoka is one heck of a waifu. I like her second overall. So yeah, best girl overall is Aoi Sensei, Madoka, and then Misaki for the main characters. Her route is also my personal favorite. To conclude, Aokana is a lively, comedic romance that involves the plot device of futuristic sport. That is to fly. The hell? It's nice, despite not having good enough background developments for the antagonists and having unfair treatments to certain waifus. As for the route recommendation, I would suggest going with the bad end first and then Rika's and then leave the last two for Asuka's or Misaki's. Those two routes are the best of all the routes. And the Degen score? Drum roll please! It's a fucking 1. Why is there no route for Aoi Sensei? This trash, don't play it. I have someone at my door now. Later, Degens.